You, a mere human, find yourself inside an arena and pitted against all sorts of supernatural beings in combat. Being a diehard fantasy fan, however, you know their weaknesses. All of them. A flash, a bang. Whisked away through time and space, beyond the veil and past the universe, into the void and yonder. The mind burns, the body grasps for a hold but finds none. You travel in an ethereal cloud, watched and gazed by a horde of distorted faces in a tunnel of voices. A decision, a sentence. Suddenly, your feet find a solid hold and you fall to your knees. There will be a fight. You have been chosen to entertain the crowd, to suffer and die for the twisted amusement of a fantastic crowd. A puny human versus legendary creatures. You get a good look at them. Somehow, you expected monsters. Well, these are monsters all right, but not in the incomprehensible creatures from beyond sense. These are more in a not very original sense. Not a single being that you haven't heard of, in stories, in books, in movies, in tales. The Sphinx wears a crown and commands authority. It is king. As it speaks, all fall silent. You are allowed one wish before heading to the arena. The entire room falls silent when you ask for a fully equipped kitchen. They did not expect that, fail to understand. A promise is a promise. The yellow field that will soon run red is surrounded by gray walls adorned with spikes. On them, rows of seats for the eager spectators. And in the middle of the sand, your dream come true, the most equipped kitchen you ever had. The gates open. Enter the slaughterers. Hostile, violent, used to kill and maim. The crowd is audibly disturbed when the Medusa is stabbed through the throat as you walk backwards, holding a pristine knife as mirror. The bloodsucker is drenched in salt and battered to death with a sack of flour. The centaur is lured by the scent of wine and bludgeoned as he enjoys the fine drink. The gruesome spectacle does not end here, though. There is snake and horse meat to cook now, more than you could have afforded in the other world. And dear lords above, you love cooking. The crowd leaves, horrified. There is no rule stipulating how the defeated are to be handled. No law is broken as the anticachos are grilled. Tonight, a new monster has been born. You fall asleep under a purple sky, belly full with the delicious dish you just sampled. Bigger foes are brought in the next day. These are not here to amuse, but to kill the abomination that has made its home in the arena. Sadly for the chimera, the meat you have cooked is too delicious to ignore, and it's sticking from a spike above the creature's reach. It spits fire in anger. The sharp metal you had planted inside starts to melt and dips down the lion's mouth. The chimera is dead from clogged windpipes before it understands what happened. A crowd is a fickle thing. It can hate one day and love another, and after the first shock, there's an undeniable artistic streak in the way you dispatch your enemies. A twisted sense of aesthetic the people come to enjoy. The king cannot bear it, it is to be loved above all else, and the champion is stealing love away. The slave has become the public's idol. The sky turns green, dust shimmers on the red field, and this time, no one cheers when the gates open. The king enters the arena. Kings do not get interrupted, kings command quietness by their presence. Force of habit. A habit you ignore by asking a riddle first. The Sphinx finds your lack of respect despicable, but will solve your riddle before asking one back. And then, it will devour you, so enjoy the seconds you bought yourself, puny mortal. After all, the Sphinx knows every answer. Every answer from this world. He sure as fuck doesn't know about the 5th generation of Pokemons. Sweat purls down the mighty beast's forehead, it stumbles upon its words, tries to buy itself some time to think, it knows the answer, has too. But when the crowd screams for death, it knows it has lost. The answer was Pignite, by the way. You never played Pokemon, but had seen the little creature's design and found it amusing, thus remembered it. Funny how it goes. Out of alternatives. The king drops its crown and slams himself against the spikes, ending its reign forever. You could go back, but for what? You have plenty of things to cook here, and where on earth would you get Sphinx meat? Wine made of bloodsucker's blood? A manicore jaw kept open to act as an oven? A wild crowd that adores you and gives you offerings daily? It is strange, but fitting, that in a world of fantastic beasts, you have become their new legend, their mythical creature. Lord of the Arena. The new big bad wolf for beings who do not behave well. The gates open. A cyclops steps on the crimson sand. Twice your height, armed with a gigantic club, shaking to the bones. You turn towards it with a smile, sharpening a knife. Ah, fresh meat.